serve such kind of market, given the kind of strengths that we have and what kind of weaknesses also we have. And the third issue is about competition. While it may look that the competition is really low in many of these markets, I think we should not forget the fact that really about 5 companies control about 80% of this market, and it's already a market for a lot of the products which are in existence for a long time. So, and then we are talking of biosimilars, whether you would like to take a product and go and establish all your data for these products, that becomes important. Selling a vaccine to a developed market is not like selling generic drugs. You know, you just make a para 4 filing, you challenge the patent holder, and then there you go, you have a 6 months market exclusivity. No such thing has still happened as far as the biological market is concerned, and I don't think in the foreseeable future this will ever happen. Therefore, I would like to sound a note of caution here that if we go to the developed markets with vaccines which are already established, we are going to have problems. We are not going to have a safe landing. We may have a crash landing. But at the same time, I think we can look at certain niche opportunities. And I would like to really suggest that there are certain opportunities, particularly in the travelers market, because today you have a world where diseases spread from one corner to the other in no time, and the market for travelers vaccine will really grow, whether it's hepatitis A, Japanese encephalitis, chikungunya, whatever. And I think it is here that our own work that we do in this part of the world with some innovative content and developing our data to serve really a world market could be of help. And I think therefore we need to have some amount of homework, groundwork, some amount of patience before we really embark on this journey. It may be on our radar, but we have to choose which spot in the market to really land. And I think that's what I would like to stress here. The other thing I'd like to say really is, why are we so caught up with the developed markets? If you make an analysis of the growth of the vaccine industry in the world, and I think Dr. Jain also pointed out, much of the growth is going to be in the developing countries. Today, the world vaccine market is about $25 billion. In about another 6-7 years, it may go to about $45 billion. That's a growth of about $20 billion. And more than half of this growth is going to be in the developing markets. So would you position yourself in the developing markets with appropriate product for region-specific diseases? Or would you look at the developed markets for product which there are enough competent players to serve that? That's the other question that I think we must ask. So while we look at the radar for the developed markets, I don't think we should lose sight of the fact that we're going to have significant opportunities coming in our own developing markets. And I think it will be useful for companies to also look at the developing markets and position them appropriately. That's the second point I wanted to make out. I think all in all, I think we are at a point in time for the vaccine industry where the opportunities are unfolding in very limitless manner. And I think it's not going to be a question of developing or developed markets, but it's how as businesses we choose to make our presence in many of these markets. And I think overall that will help us create a very sustainable business base for this industry and also for our country. Thank you.
I have seen hands being raised. I think let the panelists give their view on this topic. Then at the end we can get into the question answer session. Now I request Dr. Kuppuswamy. Dr. Appaji will have the last word. Okay. So Dr. Kuppuswamy to speak a few words. Thank you.
Good evening. I represent a startup biotech company. Yeah. Good evening. I'm representing a very small startup biotech company in Hyderabad. And I fully agree with Mr. Kevi Balasubramaniam on the importance of concentrating on the developing world rather than moving to the developed countries. Traditionally, if you see, vaccines are developed in the developed world, in the industrialized countries. And we are now in the process, India, for instance, we are in the process of making follow-on biologics. I don't want to use the word biosimilar. Bala was talking about biosimilars. But the vaccines are very much different from biosimilars. And these are follow-on based on those technologies that are developed in the industrialized countries. We have been trying to make follow-on vaccines. This is the new term which is coming up now. So the opportunity lies, if at all you want to export to the regulated markets, the opportunity exists in the follow-on vaccines. When I say follow-on vaccines, vaccines like Prevnar equivalents, the Gardasil equivalents, these are the kind of products that we should concentrate. And again, when it comes to, say, Prevnar, they started with 7-valent, and now they are coming out with a 13-valent. Again, the valencies are decided as per their local requirements in those countries, so Europe and US specific. And what we have to do is to make vaccines of the follow-on vaccines of those types very specifically meeting the Asian requirements, including the prevalent strains in Asia, so that we can serve our community, our region much better. And there is absolutely no problem in exporting these vaccines because you have more than what is required in a much higher valent vaccines. So this is an opportunity. And the Gardasil equivalent again, you all know Gardasil is it's a quadrivalent vaccine, and we have companies in India and in China. They are working on pentavalent and hexavalent Gardasil equivalents, which are the follow-ons. So these are the kind of technological improvements India should bring in and make that as a platform for export into the developed world. And with a lot of improvement or a lot of innovations happening around the follow-on biologics, especially the vaccines, and the infrastructure, the WHO approved facilities, almost we have 7 WHO approved facilities in India, out of which 3 are already in Hyderabad. So with this facility advantage, we are good in facility design, and we are good in the GMP requirements for vaccines. And with these things put together, I think India can go a long way, and in the coming years can make a better foray into the developed markets. Thank you very much.
From Pharmaceutical Export Promotion Council, Pharmexil, I would like to inform about the position of vaccines, what we have been doing, and also in general, export promotion, and the same specific question of vaccines and its potential, whether we should enter into regulated markets, and is it a correct position at this stage. In our view, from the government of India side, from Department of Commerce and the Department of Pharmaceuticals, which Dr. Undru is representing, there is scope and there is potential for vaccines similar to other pharma products, where we have achieved our position and made our position established as pharmacy of the world for generic medicines at affordable cost. In addition to generic medicines, vaccines is another field where India has